have here is the drum kit, and it consists of several instruments. So we've got some drums, and we also have a selection of cymbals as well. I'm going to introduce one instrument at a time, starting with the snare drum. Then we have our two toms that's mounted on the stand. You've got a large one on the right, then you've got a small one on your left. And then down the bottom, we have our floor tom. And it's the largest tom in our whole setup, and it's also mounted on the floor with the legs. That's why we call it floor tom. And we also have the bass drum. Now I like to call it the kick drum because we use the kick pedal to play the bass drum, like so. Then we have our cymbals. So on my left we have the hi-hats, and we use the pedals to open the hi-hats and closing the hi-hats by pushing the pedal in, like so. Out, in, out, in, out, in. Open, close, open, close. And then we have our crash cymbal. And then on my right, we have the ride cymbal. So what we have here is a standard 5-piece drum kit. And they also come with different sizes. So you can have a bigger drum kit by having a lot more drums, a lot more cymbals as well. Or you can have a smaller version requiring less gear or less hardware. So drum kit is mainly used in rock bands, big bands, jazz bands, Latin bands, and also in percussion ensembles, brass bands, and wind bands. Now the main role of drum kit is to keep time for the band, and they do this by playing a set of groove. And now grooves are a repeated phrase or a drum pattern that helps set and maintain the tempo and rhythm for the entire piece. So an example of a groove can be something like this. So in your head, you kind of internalize the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the groove is nice and steady, which is easier for the other band members to lock in the tempo. Now another cool thing about drum kit is fills. So fills are mini solo features that are typically used to transition from one section to another. And they're extremely fun to play, and it's fun because you get to experiment with different drums as well. Yeah, so a fill can be something like this. So we have a long fill, something like this. Or we can have a shorter fill, so something like this. I love playing on the drum kit because, well, to be honest, it was actually one of the reasons why I started playing percussion at the first place, because of drum kits. And it's also nice to work around a big setup with a lot of drums and a lot of cymbals, and there's a lot of fills, a lot of grooves that's out there as well. It's always nice to learn something new. Similar with bass drum, it kind of gives you the control and power over the whole band, as all the other instruments has to latch on with the drum kit when it comes to tempo and rhythm. So I'll show you a couple grooves that's really fun to play. is something like this. Yeah, so this is more sort of like an advanced type of stuff which the students will learn. So make sure to tune in for that as well. So these two large drums are called timpani or kettle drums, and they are very commonly used in orchestras, and you can also find them in concert bands, wind bands, percussion ensembles, and brass bands. This instrument is a pitched instrument, believe it or not, as we can change the pitch of the notes with the foot pedals, which is located underneath the drum. So we can get higher notes by pushing the pedal down, like so, to get a sound like this. Then we can also make the notes lower by pushing the pedal down with your heel to get a sound like this. It's a very similar sound to a concert bass drum. Now, timpani requires a new type of skill where we have to listen to our notes. So we go by a mallet percussion instrument, and then we have to get our corresponding note from the mallet instrument. For example, we want a note G. So, gotta keep tuning up. Keep tuning up to get to the note G. And another cool feature is that on the side we have different notes. We call these gauges, and they help us locate notes, and we can fiddle around with them so that the next time we tune the tints, we know where the G note is. To produce a sound on a timpani is quite challenging and very different to how you produce a sound on a snare drum and a bass drum, is that we don't hit the center of the drum. Gives that thuddy sound and not much tone out of the notes. Instead, we find a sweet spot, which is located at a specific area. And how to find that is find your midpoint of the drum and the edge, and you want to find that middle point of that area. So somewhere leaning towards the edge, which produces a sound like this. So I just demonstrated an extended technique that is prominently used in timpani. It's called the hand dampening. And the use of hand dampening, it's similar with the bass drum, kind of makes the sound short, but in this context, we're completely stopping the resonance of the timpani. As you can hear, the sound just fades away very quickly. It doesn't ring. I love playing on the timpani as, like I said before, it's always fun to play on larger instruments, and it gives you an insight of just being part of an actual orchestra, as timpani is quite common in orchestra, and there are a lot of extended techniques involved with this instrument. So we have the rolls, and they work differently with snare drum rolls, as timpani rolls we mainly focus on how fast we move our sticks. So we can play soft by making our single strokes quite slow. And as we get louder, we can increase the speed of our strokes. Another cool technique I would like to teach is the glissandos. So glissandos mainly on the timpani pedal, as we can kind of change the sound by rapidly moving the pedal up and down to get this kind of effect. It really gives that wing, 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 wing kind of sound, which is really cool and fun to play with as well.